It's Keith from True Living Health, and I wanted to bring you guys another video, so here I am. Today I wanted to talk about disease. I wanted to cover, maybe clear some misconceptions that people hold on disease and what they actually believe it to be. It's not as bad as it actually is made out to be, and I want to explain why. So first, I'll just go ahead and give you the logical definition of what disease is. And disease is basically when a person is at unease, so dis-ease. It could include being in pain, any kind of discomfort, irritation, etc. Yeah, so let's cover the biggest. Let's clear up the biggest misconception. Disease is not necessarily a bad thing. It actually is a healing process, and people don't quite understand this because it's not really taught. So I'm going to explain it just a little bit more. There are two forms of disease, which is acute disease and degenerative, both which are in a way remedial. Acute disease is the main form of remedial, and there's a minor form and a major form of acute disease. Minor acute disease appears when you have a cold or if you have acne. Major acute disease will appear if you have short-term periods of inflammation, so like bronchitis, something like that. If the major acute disease are left unchecked and are not given the proper conditions to heal, because that's what disease is to heal the body. It's just a crisis brought upon the body to heal itself. So if the major forms of acute disease are not given the proper conditions to actually heal, then it'll lead into chronic disease, which can lead into degenerative disease, like irritable bowel disease, heart disease, stuff like that. So let me explain a little bit more as to what we're healing from. So, basically the main cause of disease is toxemia, which is a overload of toxins in the blood. This would be the second stage of disease, though, because the first stage, and this would actually be the real cause here, which is innervation, which is a lack of nerve energy, which is the energy that you get when you go to sleep and you recharge it. It's not the energy you get from food. So if you've ever, not got enough sleep one day and you had to go to work and you felt like crap, that's why, because that's the energy you were lacking. So when you lack nerve energy, your body's not able to do its proper detoxification processes. So what happens is a buildup of toxins can occur, which leads to toxemia. So when toxemia occurs, this is when you start having a lot more problematic diseases, ones that are life-threatening and more painful. There are 7 stages of disease, and the first one, like I said earlier, was innervation, which is lack of nerve energy, and then the second one being toxemia, because the lack of nerve energy leads up to toxic buildup in your blood, since your body is no longer able to detoxify these toxins. And if you're eating a bad diet or living in an environment which does not support optimum health, then yes, this can lead up to even more toxins in the body and cause even more problems. So I have a video on that. It's called Optimum Health, What It Is and How to Achieve It, if you want to check out more on that. So the third stage of disease is irritation. This is when your body's starting to notice and to actually sense the toxins in your blood, because you haven't really done anything with the toxins. Some symptoms of irritation would be like an itchy throat, or if you were to eat something like a spicy food such as hot pepper, your tongue would burn a little bit, and your tongue wouldn't be too happy about it. Your throat may, you might water, your eyes will water a little bit, so that's irritation. Some other examples are like when we need to urinate or defecate. That's our body saying, hey, we got some toxic substances that we need to get rid of, so it's probably best that we go do that. And if you don't do that, then what happens is it gets and leads to even more pain, which goes to inflammation, which is the 4th stage of disease. You can basically, when you think of inflammation, this is what causes pain. And inflammation is our body's most intense healing effort. So when you're in a stage of inflammation, you know it because it's very painful. So it's probably best to listen to irritation and to stop what you're doing then before it leads to something worse, such as inflammation. And since inflammation is our body's most intense effort to heal, most of our energy, which is usually used for digestion or any normal daily activities, is going to be put towards healing, and we should allow this to happen, because if we don't, what we're doing is we're not providing the conditions for our body to heal during its most intense healing effort, and what happens is the next stage of disease occurs, which is ulceration. Ulceration is basically when our body can no longer expel the toxins, and that there are so many that, like I said, it can no longer expel them at a rate which actually promotes healing. So what happens is the cells start to actually degenerate and start to break down and create what we could call craters in our tissues. So this is really painful as well. And what happens here as well, we can still turn around and heal during ulceration, but if we don't, what happens is we go to the next stage of disease, which is induration, which is when tumors start to actually appear. Induration is when all these toxins are isolated and put into a quarantine kind of little pouch, which we call tumors. This protects our body from the damage that they're doing and allows it to heal and to catch up on the amount of healing it needs to do to where it can actually heal instead of just being damaged by the toxins. If this is not done and more toxins are brought in, even though we have tried to our body's made another attempt to get rid of them and to catch up by quarantining a good majority of toxins, what can happen is cancer can occur, which is the final stage of disease, and which is when the cells are not working together anymore and that quarantining is not working, and so basically all the cells go haywire and just start eating the body, and well, eventually we die if we don't try and heal the body. So knowing the 7 stages of disease and what disease actually is, it's highly recommended that we provide our body with the most optimum conditions of health so that we can heal at the best conditions, at the best rate for our body, and that we don't go through painful disease. If you'd like to learn more about what disease actually is, and more about acute disease and the minor and major forms of it, and degenerative disease, and why toxemia causes disease, and more about the 7 stages of disease in general, check out the link in the description. It's got a lot more information that I was able to give out here. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video was very helpful to you, and take care, everybody. Peace.